All right, it's 4:02, and I'd like to call tonight's meeting of the San Bernardino Community College District Board of Trustees to order. Trustee Longville, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pursuant to Board Policy 2350, any person may speak to the Board of Trustees either on an agenda item or on other matters of interest to the public that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board and before any board action is taken. Comments must be limited to 3 minutes per speaker and 20 minutes on the same or substantially similar topic. Unless a majority of the board votes to extend the time limit. As a matter of policy, members of the board may not discuss or respond to matters raised during public comment unless the matters are properly noticed for discussion or action in open session. If you have questions about the access or if you require accommodation to participate in the public meeting, please contact the Chancellor's office at 909-388-6903 as far in advance of the board meetings as possible. Do we have any public comment?
We have one.
All right. I would invite Denise Knight.
Thank you. Our Future Early Childhood Educators Symposium that took place on October 17th. It was a rousing success. Dr. Contreras opened us up with greetings. Ted Alejandre closed out our morning session, and our own Dr. Houston just gave really inspirational remarks to the participants. We had 188 high school students on the Valley College campus participating in workshops and panel discussions. And I wanted just to share very quickly a few comments. Dr. Arnelius, I want to also say thank you so much for participating and helping us out there. Student testimonial, 12th grade senior. This was my first time going to a real conference, and getting to be on a college campus made it even better. I loved the panel. Hearing about all the different paths in education showed me that there's so much more I can do. I thought I'd have to stop at being a preschool teacher, but now I see there are so many options. Another 12th grader. It was so cool to meet all these people from different programs and businesses and education. Coming from the high desert, I didn't even know this stuff. It definitely opened my eyes to a lot of new possibilities. Then from Hesperia Unified, thank you for organizing such an impactful experience. This event truly inspired my students who returned, who even returned. Thank you so much for extending this opportunity. Oh, this invitation is from Slover Mountain High School. My students cannot stop talking about all the activities that they were able to participate in and the nuggets of knowledge they left with. I was most appreciative of the many resources provided for careers, volunteer opportunities, and educational support. This event was truly transformational for my students. I have a handful of students graduating early, and we now have some clear paths and resources for their work education pathway from high school. And the last one, thank you. My students had a wonderful time and really enjoyed the experience of visiting San Bernardino Valley College. The opportunity broadened their horizons and left a lasting impact. So we're hoping to make this an annual event. Actually, Slover High School has already contacted me and asked when they could bring more students down for a follow-up visit and information session. So I just wanted you to know that the event did go well, and I thank you for the board support.
Thank you very much. There being no further public comment, we'll move on to section 3, clarification. I believe there is likely none.
There is nothing.
All right. Section 4, presentations. The sabbatical report presentation of Tatiana Vasquez. Welcome.
kind of difficult. All right, let me double check that I got everything. Okay. All right, well, thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Tatiana Vasquez. I am the VP of Academic Senate at Valley College, but I'm also a biology professor and co-curator of the Botanical Gardens and Natural History Museum that we have. And so I want to showcase some of the work that we do. This is not work that is only done by myself, by the way. But I do want to give special thanks to the administration at Valley College, who have been very supportive in the establishment of the botanical gardens and also in supporting the transitions we've had so far. At the district level, we definitely have an amazing team in the construction team. And also, I want to thank Chancellor Rodriguez and Executive Vice Chancellor Jose Torres, because they've been very supportive through the past 2 years in transitions that we've had at the gardens. So I would like to kind of give a little bit background of what the gardens are about, and really fostering ecological discoveries and stewardship is really our motto and our mission. We use the botanical gardens since their establishment since summer 2016. They have been used by faculty, classified professionals, and students heavily as we study nature and we build community within our students, and also extend our community to come to the garden and actually use it as well. So these are some of the pictures that you actually see, even alumni coming back, and we are hosting alumni as they progress through their careers as well. In the next slide, I want to show you there are 3 different sabbatical outcomes that I actually had. They extend because we wanted to make sure that people know what the botanical gardens are about, that we do have a lot of special projects. So we wanted to be known, and this is why we're here. Or why I'm here too. And so as part of my the work that we do at the Botanical Gardens, I also want to invite you all to come to the gardens to visit anytime if you're looking for inspiration, but also we will be having a grand reopening coming the spring, or hopefully March or April. And so you'll see hopefully the optimal floral displays that we actually get, and wildlife that actually gets to visit. So anywho, going into the 3 areas that my sabbatical was dedicated to was the creation of a website, the creation of a logo, brochures, and creating and establishing solid partnerships so that we can actually have our students have internships, so that those also partners can come to our botanical gardens and host workshops and do community events with us. So there's a lot of opportunities that we actually have created, and that we've actually used them as well in the recent past. But I do want to pass around the brochures that I actually created. So I'm gonna put them. All right, so in terms of so the brochures are there as a product. Also, the website is our product. So if we can go into the website. And I want to show you that the website itself is a skeleton of really what we are hoping to expand on more. And when I say a skeleton, it actually is pretty solid already, but we want to expand on this, expand it over time. And we're looking for expansion for the next 20 years. And if you notice, there's actually a space for bilingual. So some of the segments of the website are already in Spanish. There's some areas that are actually not fully translated, so we're working in that currently. I know that I want to expand into other languages as well, because we want to touch every member of our community as well. So we'll look ahead into that. I also want to let you know, and I can kind of see, I wanted to showcase the website as we go and progress. So if you kind of take a look, we definitely have various pictures of the garden, and this is kind of a very optimal Palo Verde flowering. We will also have various pictures, so you actually can tag along the pictures. We have a little bit of background. And we have special elements that actually are for the community at large and for anyone. So we will be showcasing organisms of the season. And so in this case right now, we are showcasing the fall. And we're showcasing California fuchsia, which is a plant that is loved by hummingbirds. So if you prefer to have hummingbirds in your garden, you can actually learn some more for that. There's various pictures and different seasons as well to learn from them. And we also have areas where it's like more information. So that more information actually takes you to an external agency that is developed by the California Native Plant Society. And they are really good curators of information for people to learn how to put these plants in their backyards, and to make sure that they actually can help the ecosystem as well, and actually promote that as well. So we do that, a little bit of that, and help out. And then obviously in terms of a homepage, like being where the site is located, and we're gonna be working on developing this more with drone activity that we actually can actually have. And showcasing things that we are not visible, and those are the museum parts of our collection that we work with the botanical gardens as well. And so as you notice, I also have an area where it says learn, and I really want to click on that because hopefully this works. Nope. So the idea of the learn part is that you will actually be able to go into areas that, yes, they connect with the animals. You learn about what animals are visiting the garden, what plants are actually being hosted in the garden and curated, but also the fact that we can actually understand that people and nature have really tight connections, and that we also want to celebrate traditional knowledge and ecological knowledge from our California tribes. So California has a lot of that biodiversity, but California also has a lot of knowledge with the indigenous tribes and local tribes too. So we plan to actually expand on more of that. We have some initial information in there already. So I'm not gonna show you every part of the sites, but we have actually more to come if I were to click on it, by the way. We also have an area where we have stewardship highlighted. So what stewardship means is that we're promoting the idea that you can be a steward of nature, you can be a caretaker of nature, even if it's your backyard. And so that's kind of something that we want to expand. Our students are helping us a whole lot. So a lot of this is student driven, and I wanna share with you guys that we do have a native bee diversity study ongoing already. We started it this spring. Our students have internships that are paid, and they're paid with the National Science Foundation, which is a very elite, prestigious, and I'm very proud of that. And we work with them with the College of the Canyons as well. And so we're cataloging the bees as well as we collect information. And from a campus perspective, we actually also, with the students, monitor birds. So birds are actually part of residents of our campus, but there also are visiting migrants that are actually just very unique birds as well, that can just pass once every 10 years. And so documenting that actually helps, and helps the students kind of get motivated too. And we also showcase, the science division also has courses. One of them is in biology, where we have independent projects. So the students are really doing a lot of different projects. One of them has to do with going to Big Bear and doing camera trapping, where they actually assess in a sensitive area what actually is passing by. So we have really cool pictures that we get. And then lastly, in the next 2 pages that I want to show, there's things that happen a lot with our students, and highlighting their students and motivating our internal students as they progress through science is one of our goals too. And so we have pictures of our students actually doing internships, or pictures that they actually are kind of accomplishing already, even going to pharmacy or going to whatever career that they've actually selected, and they're coming from Valley, right? They're coming from our program. So I'm very proud of them. And I get really kind of emotional because each of them are really important to me. And so we also have news about construction, right? The garden has undergoing some construction transition, so we have some updates on that. And this is where we're gonna have the update for events that are community-based events, like the recent Earth Day event that we had, and that was hosted in partnership with a psychology professor as well. So we have a lot of really cool events happening as well. And then lastly but not least, as you guys had in the brochure, you had a natural history museum and collections brochure. And so we actually have in the HLS building, we have a herbarium, and I know that word is very fancy. A herbarium is a plant museum, and it's not living plants. It's actually plants that have been dry, like the way you dry them in a book. And they actually are pressed scientifically, so actually people across the state can come and study the genes, study the biology, study the ecology from what we collected with the students. By the way, this is all driven by the students. And so that's kind of the idea of presenting this to the public. And I do want to tell you that the herbarium was established in 1926. And so we have specimens since then. and some of those specimens actually are already locally extinct, so they're no longer with us. So that's kind of the characteristics of what a museum can actually help us understand. And then we also have an amazing, everybody likes the zoological museum, because when you go into our area, you will see a lot of the skeletons. We have a lot of different pieces in taxidermy. So we also wanted to showcase that. Again, this is not just for us, faculty or students, it's for the entire community to really see. And lastly but not least, I do want to make sure you guys know I have actually established strong collaborations that are just not internal, so we definitely have within the college itself, and this is a little outdated, but we have a lot more collaborations ongoing, and there's gonna be a lot more going on in the botanical garden, and you'll hear more about it as we move forward. So again, this is again a skeleton of my sabbatical. You have the products, and hopefully you understand that they're very tangible and they're meant in the service of the students and the community itself. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Vasquez. Are any questions of the board?
No questions. Can I make a quick comment?
Real quick.
Suggested? I think it's wonderful. I don't know if you work closely with UCR. They have one of the best programs, yes, and it's funded through the federal agencies. We are an HSIs. They're an HSIs. I recommend that you, and we know the chancellor, yes, very well. We would love, because there's monies available for HSIs, so take advantage of that, okay?
Thank you.
I can talk to you afterwards, but I want to compliment you for doing a great job.
Thank you so much. I am an UCR alumni, and the plant sciences, the entomology, the biology, they're so strong in that area. So yes, thank you. I would definitely appreciate that.
I really appreciate seeing tangible projects like this. I know several years ago, maybe 2 years ago, I talked a lot about the landscaping at Valley compared to Crafton, and it's super cool to just see the growth at Valley and, you know, the impact of these kind of things, and just seeing that community it really changes. So I appreciate these type of projects. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll work on to 4B, the SBCCD National Conference on Race and Equity presentation. Chancellor.
Thank you. I'd like to ask Vice Chancellor Hannon to introduce the next presentation. As many of you know, we had a rather large group attend NCORE to learn, not only to learn about DEIA projects and so on, but what are we bringing back? What are we doing here at our district to be leaders in that area? So with that, I will turn it over to Vice Chancellor Hannon.
Thank you. Last month, I shared the EEO initiatives that we were implementing from the HR perspective. So the fantastic group of faculty, classified professionals, and managers that are here today who were able to attend the National Conference on Race and Ethnicity, they're here to share their experiences and how they're implementing it on the campuses and doing this great work. I will now turn it over to Dr. Joanna Oxendine to introduce the presenters and to start the presentation.
So I'll first of all, thank you all so much for having us this afternoon to come and share with you some of the primary takeaways. The National Conference on Race and Ethnicity, as soon-to-be Dr. Hannon shared with you all. There was so much great learning that happened there. And so just bringing back very snippets here and there of what we learned and how we're implementing it across the district. So I want to take just an opportunity really quickly to acknowledge the team of folks that came from across the district. And we're representative of some of those folks here. I'll go ahead and ask all of my colleagues to join me up here. I'm not in this alone. And I'll take a moment just to introduce them all, and then we will share with you all kind of the framework of our presentation and then move into it. So first of all, I did this alphabetically. We have Dr. Anthony Blacksher, who is sociology faculty at Valley College. We have Mr. Keenan Giles, who is EOP&S counselor at Valley College. Ms. Kashonda Harris, who is EOPS counselor and the professional development coordinator at Crafton Hills College. Dr. Erica Paddock, who is the Dean of Student Services at Crafton Hills College. Dr. Olivia Rosas, our interim vice president of student services at Valley College. Ms. Diana Viches, who is the research analyst, one of the research analysts at Crafton Hills College. Dr. Vinnie Wu, who is a research analyst at Valley College. And with that, I will go ahead and share with you all kind of the primary tracks and themes. And as Vice Chancellor Hannon mentioned, Human Resources presented last month and has kind of covered that. So we are covering the other 5 tracks, which are listed here. And that is how our presentation is organized, both sharing what we have learned and how we're implementing those ideas on our campus.
I have the honor of speaking about integrated strategic planning for equity. Just as indicated on the screen, it says that we want to identify specific objectives using common language. A lot of times what happens at the ground level is things tend to get lost in translation. And so people think that certain objectives or goals don't apply to the work that they're doing. Whereas if we were to identify a common language, it becomes clear as to what type of efforts are going towards those particular objectives, goals, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of mention of things like trackable measures and the metrics. For example, the metrics are successful enrollment, completion of transfer level math and English, persistence and retention, objective completion, whatever that objective may be, and transfer. We feel as though if we simplify the usage of those terms, it becomes easier for individuals that are involved in the various plans at various levels to understand, again, what their efforts are connected to. So when we make those connections, people understand that things like the Educational Summit or the Garden are connected to the metrics in some way, shape, or form. We want to continue to engage the campus community in the planning process, particularly the students. In recent days, I've heard many people talk about the voice of the student being important, yet overlooked at times. So we want to make sure that we continue to be student-centered as it relates to hearing what it is that's important for the students by the students. We want to ensure that cascade plans are side by side, not just top down. And then lastly, we want to communicate the plans to stakeholders, including who is responsible for and who owns it. Next, Vinny.
Hi, everyone. Now let's talk about research and data practices next. So we all know the importance of research and data in making these data-informed decisions. So one of the things that matter is how we present this research. When we're presenting a data story, we have to think about the head, which are the facts, the statistics, the data, the numbers that we really care about, but we also have to touch the heart. Those are the stories, the people, the human that we bring. And then the last part is the hand. And that's a part that's about the strategies. How can we take action based on the numbers, based on the stories that we know? And what's really cool is that in bringing that back to Valley, under the direction of Dr. Oxendine, we've been doing this work with the enrollment management. And we've been creating this integrated data framework that we've presented at multiple conferences. And we've really been in the forefront of this type of research in talking about data and in sharing this data out to people. Now, something else that's really important is surveys. Now, when we talk about surveys, one of the biggest flaws of surveys is not connecting these responses to potential or actual student outcomes. And that's something that we've been working to fix. So for example, with the Healthy Mind study, we currently reran a lot of our analyses to make sure that we could account for perceived persistence. And a lot of that work has shown the importance of mental health, of campus belonging in influencing perceived persistence. So we really need to connect and make sure that we understand why students are staying and why they are leaving. And so we're going to be conducting the Healthy Mind Survey again come spring 2025. And we're currently analyzing the data for the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Institutional Survey that actually connects all of this survey data to actual student persistence and success outcomes. So this way we have the numbers and we can actually see what's going on and present the results that way. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wu. My experience at NCOR really helped me to just recognize how incredible, just the incredible work that we've done, equity work that we've done across the district and certainly at Crafton. And that helped to inspire and to launch Crafton's first ever equity champion. And it's work that the Student Equity and Achievement Committee is currently implementing that's going to help us to recognize individuals, including students and employees and teams that are championing equity work at our college. I was also able to learn how we can consider measuring students' sense of belonging and plan to continue to collaborate within our research department and campus groups, such as the C Committee, to help to develop methods that we can implement to gather this important data, analyze it. I was also able to gain insights from Dartmouth's Inclusion Champions pilot program, and this has helped to inform our improvements we've made to our data and equity coaching program, which is set to launch next spring term, for spring 2025. I want to just quickly highlight that the work that I've briefly gone over is directly aligned with commitments we've made as an institution and committed to in our student equity and educational master plans. So I want to thank you for your support in helping us to further this important work at our college. And I'll hand it over to Dr. Blocksher.
Thank you. NCOR challenged us to define what it means to decolonize education. It's particularly prescient for me as we continue to implement ethnic studies. But we must be clear, decolonization is not a metaphor. Decolonization means challenging the power dynamics and advocating for systemic change that addresses historical imbalances. Colonial structures have long been in place, deciding who gets a voice and who doesn't. Dismantling them means breaking down these systems so they no longer work to exclude or suppress. Epistemological dominance has led to a narrow, Western-centric view of knowledge, while other valuable ways of knowledge like indigenous or community-based knowledge has been sidelined. Internalized colonialism refers to how we as individuals and as an institution have unknowingly accepted harmful systems as normal. It is not enough to have the heart to serve or sit in positions of power if we are not willing to challenge the very systems that have allowed us to succeed. Our ability to navigate these structures may prevent us from having the desire to change them, let alone the courage to dismantle them, or the imagination to replace them with something truly equal, fair, and just. A land acknowledgement is a good start, but decolonization looks like reallocating land and space for Native American students and communities who have been land impacted in our region. Saving textbooks is great, but decolonization looks like institutionalizing local knowledge, histories, and perspectives in our classrooms. These are not abstract concepts. Decolonization is not a metaphor.
Okay, and Dr. Paddock and I will talk about our student engagement, what we learn, and the things that we are doing to really engage and support our students so that they can be successful. So one of the things that we've learned and that we have been implementing, it was great to see that we're just not learning while we were there, but we were excited to see that we're doing those things already. So we learned a little bit, but it was refreshing and validating to see that we are doing some of the things already to enhance the student experience and to really uplift our students. So in terms of establishing collaborative efforts across the campus and with district, we have done great work in terms of our dual enrollment efforts. You see the collaboration between instruction and student services and admin services and our research team. With our honors program, where we have gone from a dozen students in the honors programs about a year and a half ago to now 115. really engaging students and spreading the word, right? That we have support programs, that we have opportunities for them to be leaders. Those are some of the things that we're doing collaboratively to foster a sense of belonging and a sense of family and community. We have our learning communities through Umoja Tumaini, our Puente program. We've done a lot of programming with our Black to School Night, our Dia de los Muertos celebrations, Club Rush, the San Bernardino Valley College Votes campaign. We have sent students to our Haku conference, to Apahi, and to AMAND this coming spring, and we have in past years. We are creating a culture of care and shifting really removal of barriers, but really expanding services through our mental health services and our basic needs. And we will continue to really do that work in the spring semester when we expand the hours of our pantry to 5 days a week. We also have an MOU with Jóvenes Incorporated to do housing for students that may be housing insecure. So we serve as a referral source, for them. And we're looking into really being intentional about our mental health, services. While we have an online 24/7 platform that students can log in and get assistance, we're really looking for the personal touch and having individuals available, more frequently for our students. And in terms of reigniting passion for the work and to break away, from routine, we're really trying to infuse a sense of collaboration, not only with the instruction and admin services and our research team, but also within the Division of Student Services by really collaborating and building a more cohesive team, because our students sense that. Our students see, our intentionality. And with the assistance, as it has been said before, of the surveys that our IR team has been able to share with us and the data, we are able then to see, hey, anxiety is one of the things that our students are suffering from. So how are we tackling that? Keenan talked about the 5 metrics in the Student Equity Plan, him being one of the leads in the Guided Pathways Committee. So just really locking our arms around all the work that we're doing and delivering, more cohesive ways of engaging our students and supporting them to be successful from the point of entry till the time that they finish.
Okay, so I attended a workshop at NCORE about making our campus really active during this past election season. And as a result of that, we had 3 voter registration events at Crafton starting at the beginning of September. We also went to a lot of our Math 110 and English 100 classes, political science classes, and altogether we registered over 80 people at Crafton to participate as first-time voters in the election that just occurred. Also, we did some workshops with the faculty during in-service as well as with our student organizations about navigating differences with civility in line with what I learned at the NCORE presentations. And then I attended another workshop at NCORE about the Latino male LGBTQ experience. And so as a result of that, I partnered with Inland County Legal Services, and we had 2 workshops teaching our LGBTQ or non-gendered students how to change their gender markers on their Social Security cards, their passports, and their California state IDs to more align with who they are.
All right, thank you very much. I'll be covering training and professional development. So thank you for the opportunity to be able to attend this conference. Based on some of the information that I received in regards to the area of professional development, some of the work we're currently doing already on our campus at Crafton, as well as Valley through the work Rania and I are partnering on. But in particular, some of the things that focused on in the workshops that I attended was finding a way to continue to interweave DEIA efforts throughout professional development, not just as campus in total, but in general to very specific areas looking at how we onboard our new faculty and our staff members and making sure that they already are coming into our campus with an idea of what our equity goals are, what our equity plans are. We also focus really big this semester on one of the things we're doing is finding a way, which is a big challenge on our campus, is to reach out to science and our CTE areas to find out how we can interweave equity standards within those areas. We tend to focus very heavy on the English majors, sociology, history. So we are now this semester piloting a program open for anti-racism where we are working with math faculty, science faculty, our CTE, EMS, and paramedics, and talking about how we can change some of the classroom workings and how to interweave, again, a lot of equitable practices in the pedagogy in those areas specifically, outside of our traditional areas where students are a bit more verbal and working on things such as papers where they're expressive and talking about those areas. So in addition to that, what we'll be also doing is, in an effort to get all of our faculty on board with our equity plan and our equity services, we will be starting OFAR, which is, again, Open for Anti-Racism, as a part of our Tenure Track Academy, which now is the committee for first year. So as they come in, they will start to come in and gain these skills, and also as a result will show the work that they're implementing in their classrooms through an equity symposium that we plan to do at the end of the year. In addition to that, we'll continue to do efforts through in-service flex, making sure that we have keynote speakers and other efforts on our campus for equity.
At Valley College, the professional development department lives within the division that I oversee, and so I too attended several sessions at NCORE that had to do with professional development. One of the conversations that has kind of been ongoing on our campus around diversity, equity, inclusion, and anti-racist work is how do we engage those folks who are uninterested in being engaged in the work. It seems that an awful lot of times across our nation, it is the choir that comes to DEIA professional development opportunities. It is the choir that attends these kinds of conferences. And it is not necessarily the folks who really need the training and the skill sets to be able to embody and include these behaviors and inclusive nature, culturally responsive pedagogies in the classroom, the way in which we're dealing with our students and supporting them. And so I attended a couple of sessions that were really getting at that. How do we engage the folks in this work who don't want to be engaged in the work for whatever that reason may be, without judgment? And so two of the ideas that really came out of that was to focus some of our training not so much on the concepts and theoretical ideas behind DEIA or the sometimes morality issues that come with it, but rather focus it within the job duties itself. So if we can embed those equitable practices within the behaviors that we expect to see within those job duties, then we are able to support our employees in behaving in equitable ways without needing to engage in conversations that may make them defensive in some ways. So that was one of the ideas that really came out of that session. The other idea that came out of a session was allowing our faculty members to engage with one another in communities of practice. And again, using the peer structure so that we're talking about ideas, and professional development is built around ideas that really bring home individual experiences and knowledge, but without raising kind of folks' internal feelings sometimes about DEIA work as it is. So it's a way to support the work with minimal defensiveness for some folks who are not in a space where they can engage in that work directly.
And just quickly, in terms of our next steps, these are things that we're already doing, but it's really enhancing and again, collaborating with across divisions, especially with our institutional research folks. We are already using qualitative and quantitative data to identify gaps and identify the work that needs to be done in order for us to be a highly functioning, institution, really providing students with the support systems that they need in order for them to be prepared and to feel confident that they are prepared once they leave our campus with a certificate or they've transferred to a four-year institution. The decisions that we make that are data-driven are, is done through surveys and the open forums that my colleagues referred to earlier, such as, really putting together the student profiles where we identify the metrics that Keenan talked about in terms of our disproportionate population, of our Black and African-American students, and then the Healthy Minds survey that we did a couple years ago that we will reinstitute in the spring. And in terms of policies, is also what we're doing is trying to look at perhaps the student conduct policies and how we cannot disobey the law, right? We have to follow the law in terms of our policies and procedures related to student conduct, but it's how we communicate that information to the students so that they learned from prior to, an incident that may be related to student conduct. So looking at that, looking at the language that we use in our academic probation process. What are our letters saying to our students? How are we framing that we need to, that we have the support to help them to get out of that little hole that, we may have contributed to digging for them. So language is key. So really listening to what the students are telling us, but actually also acting on, taking action on what they're saying, and not just putting that on a shelf and saying, well, they told us this, but hey, we don't have time to really do it, or we have other priorities. But really putting the work where it needs to be, where the work needs to happen. I talked about, partnerships and our food pantry and mental health and the services that we really need to expand, because those are the things that we know that the data tell us that's what students need and that's where the gaps are. And what can we do as part of professional development, to continue this work? It's really continue to support conferences like the ones you supported for us to attend. Also engaging in, as Dr. Axenden mentioned, the communities of practice, providing those resources for our students, and also any type of webinar that we may be able to be part of where this type of conversations and ideas can come to fruition and that we can implement at our own campuses. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate all the good work you're doing. We'll now move on to item 5, approval of minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes of October 10th, 2024?
But before we move on, can we talk about the item or talk about the presentation? Well, I don't know if it's going to be fast. I'm not going to commit to it being quick. Yeah, because it's a really important subject. And, what I'd like to ask is a future study session of being able to talk about it, because someone really close to me is running for public office, and I spent the last 2.5 months talking to voters. I personally talked to 125 individuals, and it's really interesting when you knock on somebody's door and you see how they live in comparison to how you live. And so I got a whole bunch of data and information floating in my head, and it's important that for me to not be tone deaf to like what I observed. And our chancellor has led us in a direction where, as a district, we've made some very bold statements about being an anti-racist institution. But then we got a president who's made some very bold statements recently about educational institutions that are doing equity to the point of where he's stating that he's willing to provide compensation for people who feel like that they've been discriminated against related to programs we just talked about. And so as a board, I think it's important. And I got a chance to also, Governor Newsom had a webinar when he was just really talking about the special legislative session that he was calling to really guard against some of the things that the state of California could be experiencing. And I think this board needs to really have the conversation about, well, are we gonna preserve this work? Are we gonna protect it? What do we need to do? And, you know, are we prepared for challenges that could come our way? What resources are gonna be needed? And so I think it's important that we, at some point, be able to have that conversation instead of just letting folks continue and then us not be ready when that time comes.
Thank you, Trustee Williams. And many of us couldn't agree with you more, right, to have that in-depth conversation. And if you will recall, I believe it was either last month or the month prior at the board meeting, we talked about having a study session to dive a little bit deeper into our efforts of DEIA, what we're doing as an institution here, and also taking a look at through the lens of the wider community, or at least throughout the state, and where we can make a difference. So that is scheduled for the first quarter of next year. I don't remember exactly which month it is, but it is scheduled for a study session to have those conversations. And Vice Chancellor Hannon and her team will be leading those discussions.
Again, I compliment our district. I can say that the group that went to, explore and learn from, you were probably very unique in a sense. Other college districts don't do that. And see, that's why I keep saying, and now with the leadership that's here, whether it be the teachers or CSEA, they have to understand the students that we're in a very unique situation that this district believes with the leadership and our board are willing to do whatever we need to do to make sure that things continue. It's going to get a little bit tougher because of the new changes, but we're going to be ready. The state of California is the state of California. And so we are in a very good position to get the leadership that says, this is what we're going to support, because remember, we're doing this because of the future workforce. Our students is a future workforce, whether they live here or they move to Alabama, whatever it is. If they're not educated, they're going to be hurting. So I think that we have a good message for whoever's coming in. They're not doing us a favor. We're doing them a favor because we're educating the future workforce. So I compliment our team for having that vision of sending. How many districts were there at that conference? Not that many. And they're actually, I heard good things about that. They're taking a sample of what we're doing at other colleges and other universities. And I suggested that we're doing so well that we should charge them so that we can send a team like you guys to tell them what we're doing. So again, I compliment the team. I'm always very optimistic. I'll always be optimistic, but I'm always for the challenge. And I'm going to be ready for this challenge for this coming 4 years. I've done it before. I will do it again. We have to do this for our students and the future workforce. So I thank the leadership, Diana and Jose and all the people that are here. Also, yourself, you're leading this group.
Any other comments? All right, thank you very much. Now we'll move on to the item 5, approval of the minutes of the October 10th, 2024 business meeting. Do you have a motion?
I'll move.
Who was second? Okay. So we have a motion from Trustee Betters and a second by Trustee Reyes. Is there any discussion on the minutes? If there's no discussion, we'll move on to a vote. So student trustees, if you would first cast yours. And now the rest. All right. So it looks like we have a unanimous vote, so the motion passes. Okay, moving on to item 6, recognition and celebrations, applause cards. Chancellor? Yeah. just gonna roll them by.
Yep, I think on the screen we will have the applause cards available for folks to see. And again, congratulations to everyone receiving an applause card. Well done.
Okay. Congratulations to all those recognized, including our own student trustee, Hadi Natri.
Yes.
Item 6B, retirement recognition.
So retiring with us is Aquanetta May, Administrative Assistant 2, Health and Wellness Center at Crafton Hills College. After 17 years of administrative service with the district at Crafton, Aquanetta submitted her letter to intent to retire at the end of this year. She began her employment with the district as a switchboard operator in 2007. In 2017, became an administrative clerk and will retire as an administrative assistant 2 in a position that she has held since 2021. The commitment and dedication that she has given to our district is just incredible, truly unwavering, and we truly appreciate that. And we wish her much happiness and success in her retirement. I think we should give her a round of applause. Thank you.
Congratulations to Ms. May. We'll move on now to the action agenda, item 7. So that will be A, the 2025-2026 academic compressed calendar. Is there a motion to approve the 2025-26 academic compressed calendar as presented?
So move.
Is there a second? All right, we have a motion by trustee Williams, seconded by trustee Reyes to approve the 2025-26 academic compressed calendar as presented. So we'll now call for, is there any discussion, I guess? Nope. Call for our vote. Student trustees, if you'll cast your vote first. And okay. Trustee Longville, is there? Oh, there it is. Okay, great. So it looks like everybody has voted, and the motion to approve the compressed calendar passes unanimously. Next item is item B, the board annual organizational meeting date. Do we have a motion to approve the board annual organizational meeting date as presented?
So moved.
All right, so we have a motion to approve the board annual meeting date as presented by trustee Betters with a second from trustee Longville. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and call for our vote. So student trustees, if you'll first cast. See who we're missing. Trustee Reyes. All right, everyone has voted, and the motion to approve the board annual organizational meeting date passes unanimously. Item C, board policies for final approval. Do we have a motion to approve the board policies for final approval?
I'd like to move that these policies move forward, and I want to add for BP 2731, I want to nominate Trustee Gloria Harrison to receive the Trustee Emeritus status.
All right, so let's actually vote on the item first, so that we actually have a policy. And
Well, I
then,
wanted in the vote. That's why I wanted you to vote on all of that. Because that's what's
Council,
agendized as the policy.
what's the,
They should be voted on separately. So you can approve the policy, then once you have a policy in place, then you can take subsequent action to appoint a emeritus.
Even though it's not on the agenda?
You would need to do that under a separate agenda.
That's why I wanted to do it all
Yeah.
together.
yeah, I think the way the policy is written, though, it does not require a nomination at a board meeting.
I got you, but I want this to happen, that's why. I don't want to go. So how do I do it?
So you made the motion, correct?
Yeah.
So what you can do is you can make the motion and then say it is also my intent that Ms. Harrison be made a trustee emeritus, and then if it doesn't require board approval, staff can bring that forward and it can happen.
Okay. Can I do that?
Yeah, and if we could amend, if you wouldn't mind amending that to also then include trustee Verisel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, so we have a motion to approve the board policies for final approval by trustee Williams.
Second.
Second by trustee Betters. Any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, call for our vote. Student trustees. Trustee Betters.
Oh, shoot.
How do you vote?
I fell asleep at the wheel.
All right. We see the motion carried unanimously. And I think past trustees Harrison and Verisel should consider themselves so nominated. Yeah, thank you. All right. Moving on to item D, the annual military equipment report, the renewal of resolution number 2023-1109 HR01, and if the chancellor could first please give a brief explanation.
Yes, I just wanted to remind the board and remind the community that this is an action item that is mandated that we have to have on the agenda in order to maintain the equipment that we use in our police department. The title a couple of years ago changed to include military equipment report, and I understand that has a certain connotation to it, but I assure you that we are not upgrading to tanks and armor and whatnot. It is just our usual business as usual procedures that we will be doing within the police department.
Thank you, Chancellor. So is there a motion to approve the renewal of the resolution? And second? So we have a motion from trustee Longville and a second by trustee Reyes to approve the renewal of resolution number 2023-1109 HR01 military equipment use policy. Is there any discussion? There's no discussion. We'll go ahead with our vote. And the motion passes unanimously.
Mr. Chair, I hope you'll notice, if you look at them,
Oop.
they just changed it.
It went away.
The screen that was, can we go back 1 second to the screen that was just showing the vote? Can't do that? I guess we don't have the technical ability to do that.
Uh-oh.
If you notice, on that vote, notice the next time there's a vote, that it assigns numbers to each one of our voting stations. And down there, there's number 1, 2, 3. Up here, we're number 29, 30, 30. So that's why the vote takes, a lot longer. That's it. That's
Great point. It's a great point.
There it is. You can see it. They've got it on the screen now.
Yeah.
3 to 29, 30, 39, 46.
Wow.
30's my favorite number, so it works out.
Thank you for pointing that out, trustee Longville. All right, we'll move on to our consent agenda. Item 8. Are there any items that anyone would like to pull from the consent agenda? All right, hearing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, and a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion by trustee Reyes with a second by trustee Longville to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, we will go on to our votes. Student trustees. And we pass unanimously. Thank you very much. We will now move on to section 9, the reports section. So we'll just start with the Board Finance Committee real quick. At our meeting today, we had our bond construction update, where we heard about the facilities team's progress on our bond construction program. So we've got about $309 million in construction contracts, and the total change orders in total have been held to 1.56%, which is an outstanding percentage. The technical building at Valley College is on schedule to be completed by the end of the year, and the Crafton Hills College Performing Arts Center is underway and scheduled for completion this summer. 5 of the projects are targeted for LEED Platinum status, which demonstrates our commitment to sustainability. We also saw a great video of what's going on with Measure CC funds. We heard about the enrollment and disaggregated unduplicated headcount, which shows that the district's at 57% of our 2024-2025 FTES target of 14,727, and we also received a new report on the disaggregation of students. That will be presented to the committee quarterly to provide insight into the students we're actually serving. And we voted on the 2025-2026 budget calendar, and that recommendation from the committee will come to the board in December. And just for anyone's interest, we will be doing a tour of the new San Bernardino Valley College Technical Building next Tuesday at 11 p.m. If any of the trustees would like to participate in that, let us know soon in case we need to actually notice it under the Brown Act. And that is my report. And now I will move on to the Board Legislative Committee. Trustee Reyes?
Thank you. We also had a very good committee meeting. We reported that we're going to be doing a little bit more advocacy in regards to what's going to happen. There's a lot of things that are still pending in regards to the new administration and so forth, but we're going to be ready to present our agenda. And Angel and his team have done a real good job in putting together advocacy with our elected officials. We're meeting with several Board of Supervisors to continue our request for additional funding for the whether it be the training facility and other things that Diana is going to be asking. We will vote on the certain items. We will bring the results to the whole board once we get the results. But and preparing, our main emphasis is going to be preparing our students for the future workforce. That's key to everything. Right now, if we don't prepare our students for the future workforce, they're not going to get a good job. So everybody's going to be pushing for that, regardless of the party. And so we're optimistic that we're going to get some great opportunities here. And then we did some major victories in terms of the housing and the food security. We're going to be able to advocate for that as well, because that's Angel has taken a lead, and we just recently were awarded an opportunity for us to provide for our students that can't afford certain meals, the opportunity for that. And it also to increase local, state, and federal funding for community colleges. That's key to anything. If we don't have the funds, we can't do things. So we're working as a team. We're all together in this. The administration and our local people are saying we're willing to support programs that require money. So that will be brought to the whole board meeting, the next meeting. So that concludes my report in terms of the legislative committee meeting.
Thank you, Trustee Reyes. Moving on to the Board Policies and Procedures Ad Hoc Committee, we had 2 meetings, one in October and one in November, and looked over Board Policy 2510, which is about participation in local decision-making, 2740 about board education, and 6610 regarding local business. And you will see revisions of those coming to this body in the near future. Moving on to state and regional reports, is there a report for the Board of Governors?
Yeah, first I just wanted to take the opportunity to congratulate Trustee Longville on his reelection. Congratulations. And then also, Mr. Aguilar will be joining us. Congratulations. I'm assuming he's going to be my seatmate here. So congratulations to you. The Board of Governors does meet on Monday, and I'm excited that Title V regulation is going to be moving forward for a second read regarding burden-free textbooks, and super excited that we're making progress towards having students get day one access to their instructional materials, and believe this is going to have an impact system-wide on our students, and looking forward to see how that policy has an impact. Chancellor is going to be given an update on the state of the system, and then there'll be some conversations around how federal and state legislation and elections will impact us. I'm not sure if they're talking about the special session that the governor hosted. I'm assuming the chancellor will give us an update on what the impacts of the system will look like around those kind of things. And then there's an update on the baccalaureate program. And so there are several other items on the board agenda, but it's all available on the web if you're interested in seeing the details.
Thank you very much. There will be no report on the Joint Powers Authority, I believe, this evening. So we'll move on to the Chancellor's report.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. So November is National Native American Heritage Month, and today we had the privilege of celebrating with the San Manuel Band of Mission Indians. This is especially meaningful because KVCR, our public TV station, is the headquarters for FNX, the First Nations Experience Channel, the only station in the United States focused solely on Native American and Indigenous programming. So what an honor that is. Today we had an special event with the San Manuel Band of Mission Indians at KVCR, reaffirming our partnership with a $1.5 million grant. So huge thanks to them. Chairwoman Lynn Villabuena and the tribe's generosity just truly strengthens what we do at FNX and help us to continue sharing stories of the Native American culture and their heritage and really honoring them. And by doing that, really bringing all of us together through the storytelling. And with our presentation earlier today, we know the importance of storytelling. So I also want to give a thanks to our dedicated KVCR and FNX team, including our student interns that are working there, for bringing these programs not only to our homes here in the Inland Empire, but to the homes really across the country. So thank you to them. So much work being done there. Appreciate it. We also had an opportunity to share KVCR on the national stage, if you will, at HACU, the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities conference in Colorado a couple weeks ago. Board Chair Dr. Houston and I presented on a new show called Learn With Me, or should I say an Emmy nominee show, Learn With Me. So this new KVCR program for K-12 students to learn both English and Spanish, created with the support of the San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools, and really the vision of Chair Houston. Learn With Me is filmed right here at our KVCR studios with our local teachers as on-screen hosts. It is so much fun to watch. If you haven't had the opportunity to watch it, you can view episodes on kvcr.org. I sound like a commercial for the thing, right? So, but I'm kind of proud of that because it is a fascinating show. It's a fascinating show. And this week we also celebrated our veterans. On Veterans Day, Crafton Hills College and San Bernardino Valley College throughout the week have held events to honor students, faculty, and staff who have served. And on behalf of myself and all of us at the DSO, thank you to all of the veterans who are currently serving or who have served. We truly appreciate your service. So thank you for that. And recently, San Bernardino Valley College was recognized by the State Chancellor's Office as a leader in awarding academic credit for veterans' experiences. Congratulations to Gilbert Cortez for the award was actually for credit for prior learning, in which many of our military vets can get credit for. And I'm sure he's going to touch on that in his report, so I won't go into that any further. But I'm also thrilled to share that we received yet another award, this time for our commitment to sustainable green building designs. The Community College Facility Coalition honored us with the Award of Excellence. So for our team, led by Executive Vice Chancellor Torres and our director, Farah, forgive me, I always mess up your name. I'm gonna get it right though, I am soon. But thank you so much for all of your work. For those of you who haven't seen, this is an amazing award. It's beautiful. We will be attending with Farah on Monday to accept the award, and congratulations on behalf of the state in Sacramento. Huge, huge honor. And to close, I'd like to share a short video update. It really is a thank you to the community, a thank you to all of you for your support through Measure CC, for all the progress that we have made in modernizing our colleges. We talked about a tour coming up for one of our new buildings at Valley College. It's just amazing. Let's check out this video.
In 2018, you made a smart investment in the future of the San Bernardino Community
A little
College
louder,
District
please.
to upgrade classrooms, labs, and career. In 2018, you made a smart investment in the future of the San Bernardino.
It's so good.
In 2018, you made a smart investment in the future of the San Bernardino Community College District to upgrade classrooms, labs, and career training facilities with Measure CC. Here's a quick look at the return on that investment. Over the last 5 years, we didn't just start building new facilities. We started raising the bar for local education with spaces that will strengthen our community, like the Future Workforce Training Building at San Bernardino Valley College and the Public Safety Training Center at Crafton Hills College. And we're just getting started. It's about building a cleaner, greener future with solar power lighting our classrooms, energy-efficient buildings, and electric vehicle stations helping us all breathe easier. This isn't just about new buildings, it's about lifting our whole community. More than 20,000 local students, veterans, and neighbors are getting hands-on training and the skills they need for good-paying careers. And that's good for all of us. We're creating local job opportunities for our neighbors. More than half the people building these projects are from right here in our community. $8 million in wages has stayed local, and $163 million is supporting the local businesses that keep us strong. Great colleges make great communities, and thanks to Measure CC, we've made smart investments in the infrastructure and quality of education at Crafton Hills College and San Bernardino Valley College. Along the way, we've saved taxpayers over $64 million and laid the foundation for something we can all take pride in. But this is just the beginning. At the San Bernardino Community College District, your tax dollars are working for a stronger future.
I just love this video, and I really want to give, thank you. And I really just want to extend my sincere thanks to all of the community, right, for believing in us and for investing in us and for truly caring for our students. So with that, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor. Now we'll move on to 9C, our represented groups. So I'll invite Crafton Hills College Academic Senate.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Meredith McLaren. I am the Academic Senate President at Crafton Hills College. And I haven't been here, in a month or so. So I just wanted to give you kind of a quick update of what we've been doing. Nothing too exciting or, controversial, but just kind of lots of just the little everyday plodding work that we do. So you should have my written report, so I'm just going to give a couple of highlights. One of the things that we have done is we decided to create a local dual enrollment task force. Dual enrollment is definitely something that is on everybody's minds, and we are working diligently towards making that a successful program. But we realized there were some things that we probably needed to address as a college, just some procedural things, some structural things, and so we have a committee that's going to be working, or a task force that's going to be working on that, and it will be meeting very soon. So I think it's something definitely needed, and something we will benefit the program overall. We have continued our conversations about common course numbering. This is something, again, that is on the minds of faculty in terms of curriculum and aligning all of those things with the state requirements. So we have, again, formed a task force to kind of work on the timelines of that to make sure that we stay in compliance with all those state requirements. The other part of this is the honors program. So I have attached also just an honors program highlight. The honors program at Crafton is doing amazing work, has been incredibly successful in many, many ways. And so I just wanted to give you some of those, the information there in terms of their transfer rates, they're growing, and the number of students who are going on and continuing to do great things and stay in touch with the program and come back and let us know how they're doing. So I wanted to include that. Senate has approved an updated academic freedom statement. Again, given everything that is potentially coming in the next couple of years, we thought it would be great to kind of get that a little more solidified. Also something that we want to maybe work with Valley about so that we can have a common statement about academic freedom and including equity in that piece as well. Let's see. We've been in dialogue with the students as far as local changes to like the IGETC, to transfer patterns, all of those kind of the local degrees, all of these things. We've had a lot of really good student engagement in our academic senate meetings, and they're bringing us their ideas. They're going back, listening to what we're saying, taking it back to student senate, bringing it back to us. They're coming to our meetings, we're going to their meetings. So it's been a lot of really good dialogue with our students over this last semester. And then lastly, just to let you know, I did attend the statewide academic senate plenary meeting last weekend. These are always really good, kind of getting updates on the state, on the budget, what's happening. A lot of really good information about AI and academia. So there were some really good sessions on that. Something that we're definitely looking at as a campus as well. But it was just nice to also have some time. Valley Senate was there as well, so we got to talk with them. Kind of what they're doing.
Your turn is complete.
And I talk more than 3 minutes. I don't usually do that. But anyway, so that is what we have been up to. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Crafton Hills College Classified Senate. No report? All right, how about Crafton Hills College Associated Students?
Crafton's dedication to building a diverse and accepting campus was displayed at our annual Fall Club Rush held on October 31st. Student organizations such as MECHA advertised their meetings and activities and signed up new members. Further, the annual costume contest attracted a record-breaking 32 participants who showed their school spirit through holiday cheer. The Student Senate was happy to support these groups in their contributions to the Crafton community. ICC Coordinator Maya oversaw event logistics and ensured attendees had the best possible experience. Hundreds of students attended the event, eating over 450 free meals purchased by the Student Senate. To better address regional issues, External Affairs Director Berenger and the Senate President Bernardino petitioned to have all Region 9 Senate officers approved to attend the 2024 Advocacy Academy Conference. These student leaders, elected by their peers, will learn to better represent their constituents through workshops, seminars, and networking with fellow representatives from across California. And on November 8th, the Crafton Student Senate voted to appoint me to the District Budget Advisory Committee. I will provide insight and advisory input on behalf of the Crafton Hills College student body, ensuring that the voices of all road runners are heard when making decisions regarding this SBCCD budget. I recently reaffirmed my committee as well to fiscal responsibility through the presentation of a CHC financial report, which I drew from meetings from the CHC Budget Committee, in hopes that we can better represent the students aligned with our budget when going to these different committees. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh. How about the San Bernardino Valley College Academic Senate? No report. Okay. San Bernardino Valley College Classified Senate? No report. San Bernardino Valley College Associated Students? All right, how about CSEA? No report there. CTA? You're the winner.
Good evening, everybody. Very nice to see you. You've caught me in a good mood. We're having our fall fest this evening, so forgive us all for leaving when we're done. Good evening, Board of Trustees, Chancellor Dr. Rodriguez, campus presidents, and senior district leaders. I'm Jeff Dembski. I'm the Faculty Union President. In keeping with the approaching holiday season, CTA would like to share some thanks and gratitude. We're grateful to see that our board has been reelected. Mr. Longville, congratulations. How many is this? Yeah, we can't remember either. It's been quite a while. Congratulations again. We would like to congratulate Trustee Betters for your reelection. Yes, unopposed. Folks, that doesn't happen much anymore. People don't run unopposed. That tells you something. Our PAC got active this time. We had to dust it off, but we did, and we were thrilled to support Carlos Aguilera, who will be the trustee for Area 7. He has a very formidable lead. Congratulations. Special congratulations and thanks to our PAC chairman, Mr. Micah Martin, as well as Robert McAtee, Sam Valle, Maria Ortiz. We had a number of people who were, folks, door knocks and local stops. You know how it works, and they did it. And we really appreciate it, and we're really looking forward to opening our PAC to all members of the board that want to work with us. We have a lot of resources, and we want to apply those resources. My first time here in July, I said we wanted to build relationships. We emphasize human capital, and we are doing that. And as long as I'm standing at this podium, we will continue. And you got about another year and a half on that. We would also like to thank Ms. Hannon's team, and I know that Nomi is a member of that team, specifically as it relates to the high-intensity lab committee that's being looked at. This has been decades, or a decade at least. Folks, we're making progress. Really appreciate it. Really thank you for naming Dr. Lemieux the chair. It means a lot to him. It really does. It means a lot to us. Let's wrap this up, okay? 10 years. Let's wrap it up. We'd also like to thank Jose for thinking about a raise. Folks, that's all we can say. We're coming to supplicants. We're not making demands. We're making amends. But we do need to do this, folks. This year alone, 2024, I personally said goodbye to 3 tenured colleagues who went to other jobs where they get paid more. Folks, it's not easy to get a job somewhere else. So if they're getting jobs, that gives you an idea of how outstanding they were. Okay, Tatiana Vasquez is outstanding. We need to pay at that level, folks. We're well behind. We've been behind for years. I've been here 14 years. It's a recurring problem. We're not asking for the sun. We're not asking for the moon. We don't want the stars. It's not just a dollar and cents thing. It's a human dignity thing. We're 15, 17% below regional places. We had a guy came in, wasn't in late 1 semester, and he went to RCC. Again, if they're getting other jobs, it means they're competitive. Pay us. Thank you very much.
Your term is complete.
Perfect timing. How about the Police Officers Association? No report. So we'll move on to our staff reports. San Bernardino Valley College President, Dr. Contreras.
Yeah, thank you. In addition to my written update, I have a number of items to cover. First, Chancellor Rodriguez mentioned that San Bernardino Valley College earned College of the Year for our credit for prior learning, and just really want to thank everybody who helped in that journey, including Dr. Stephanie Lewis, Damon Littles, Kevin Miminger, and Sylvia Romo. This is huge for access, particularly for apprenticeships, for our veteran students, for our non-traditional students, and it's a right move in the right direction that aligns with a lot of our values here as a district. Also want to share that last night I participated in my first foundation board meeting. I've been here 4 months and it feels like I've been through a whole cycle, But there was another first for me. The foundation board meeting was really amazing to share all that's happening at San Bernardino Valley College and to highlight that we give out more than $500K a year in scholarship, which is really important for our students. Also, the foundation board talked about the centennial. We're going to be celebrating the 100th in 2026 and starting to take action on that now. I want to thank Mike Lane, Felicia, and the entire team that really put together a wonderful foundation board meeting yesterday. And then on Tuesday, was mentioned, we celebrated in collaboration with KVCR at San Bernardino Valley College, recognition for our veterans. It was a really nice gathering, a huge show of support, partnering with local middle school cadets came and performed, and just a huge show of the campus and the community coming to celebrate our veterans. I was able to share a goal of becoming a military-friendly school and a military spouse-friendly school for our veterans. We want veterans to know that San Bernardino Valley College is their home, and we're going to do everything to serve those who have served us. And then I just really want to comment on the updates that were provided earlier today, including the symposium that we held for child development. Really, Valley College at its best, collaborating with a bunch of different areas in industry, talk about workforce prep, but also the programming, educational, social, cultural. The campus came alive around that event, and I want to thank Denise Knight for sharing that. The sabbatical presentation by Tatiana Vasquez, Botanical Gardens, really aligning with a lot of what we do at Valley College. Another thing you learn about, a living laboratory in our space. And NCORE, the passion and the takeaways from that. Those conversations are making their way through our college councils. We talk about sense of belonging. We talk about our HSI status. We talk about becoming a Black serving institution. They're really grounded in putting those lessons into action. So that's really exciting as well. And then this last week, we had a lot of support for our students following the elections, particularly for our undocumented students and our Black and African American students who received some unwelcoming messages. I really want to thank our student health services. I want to thank Dr. Rosas and her leadership for providing support for our students as they process all that has been happening. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Crafton Hills College President, Dr. Haran.
Good evening. I just have 3 items for you. I'm very excited to inform you that we received, Crafton Hills College received from the Campaign for College Opportunity our 2nd Equity Championship Award. We were one of 20 colleges recognized in the state specifically for an equity designation for Black transfer level math success. These are the top 3 California community colleges sporting the highest percent, thank you, of Black students to complete transfer level math within 1 year of their initial enrollment in a math course. And this is for academic year 22-23. Big thanks to our math department, our counseling department, our missions and regs department for making that happen. The second item I have is I'm also excited to announce we were awarded an Institutional Effectiveness Partnership Initiative grant for specifically to continue our work on dual enrollment. We're very excited to dive deeper into that work with our K-12 partners, and that's a nice $200,000 amount that we'll be able to put towards those efforts to continue to grow the program and make it more effective and efficient for our community partners. And the last item I have is that our cross-country program is only in its 3rd season since we created it. And we have our first student, Elizabeth Garcia, going to the state finals on November 23rd. She ranked 3rd in the IEAC conference and 47th in Southern California. And so we're very excited to see what her success will be on the 23rd. That's my report.
Thank you. All right, Executive Vice Chancellor, Mr. Torres. All right, Vice Chancellor of Human Resources and Police Services.
No update.
All right, how about Vice Chancellor of Educational and Student Support Services? Are there any questions or discussion of information items on the agenda?
The only comment I want to add just briefly is I appreciate all the thoughtfulness around as we continue to be committed to what is in the best interest of our students. And I've had some conversations with some folks about their feelings of not having a sense of belonging due to the rhetoric I think that exists in our political world. And I'm glad that this board and our chancellor and all of our presidents are supportive of our students and ensuring that we stand in the gap for them. So just very proud to be a part of this board and this incredible district. We will continue to do great things.
At this time, we're going to go into closed session to discuss confidential matters that are generally stated on the agenda. Are there any public comments on closed session items? None. Since I'm going to guess most of you will not still be here when we come out of closed session, I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and a safe Thanksgiving. Thank all of you for your hard work tonight and all the information that you shared with us. We really appreciate it. And with that, we will move into closed session. Let's try, how about 5:40? Is that good for everybody? All right. The time is now 5:37. 5:32. I can't read a watch.
2 seconds.
Yep. All right, it is 6:30, and I'll reconvene the public meeting. Do we have a report of action in closed session?
We do. On November 14th, the board unanimously took action to not reemploy the custodial supervisor at Crafton Hills College for the 2025-2026 academic year and to send notice to management employee number 30885.
With that, we are adjourned. The next meeting of the board is the board business organizational meeting, which will be held here December 13th, 2024 at 4 p.m. The time is now 6:31 and the meeting is adjourned. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Too late, down there.